watch
How?
this?
How?
How?
How? How?
Ew,
How do you watch this?
Dude, I'm gonna pee my pants.
Hi, you're listening to How Do You Watch This, a movie review podcast where each week we recommend a movie in the genre we love, but they don't. My name is Demi, and I love horror.
My name is Megan, and I love romance.
And this week I had Megan watch the movie Sinners, 2025, newer movie.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, I guess I'll take it away. It's Sinner. Is it Sinners? I put Sinner singular.
Sinners.
Okay,
Plural.
Sinners. Director Ryan Coogler. It was released in 2025. Rated R, because most horror movies are.
Correct.
2 hours and 17 minutes. That's a long one.
It is long, yeah.
And I was gonna watch it with Travis. However, I thought we were gonna record yesterday, and I was like, I don't have time, so I watched it alone by myself. I actually think he would have probably enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's a gothic horror. I would say it's like a period horror,
Okay, yeah.
kind of like, I don't know.
Period, yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard because, like, I almost, like, it is horror, but I'm also like, I don't know. Is it horror? It's got a lot to it. This movie has so much to it.
It's got a lot to it. It definitely is horror, but it doesn't hit until there's like 40 minutes left in the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was watching it and I was like, damn, I would love this movie if it wasn't a horror. Like, I would be like, this is an amazing movie if it wasn't a horror. And then it turned...
It's interesting because when I first saw stuff for this, the trailer doesn't show much, but then I was like, oh, there's vampires in it. And I'm like, that's awesome. I love a good vampire movie. I know people are praising it. They're like, this is the best vampire movie ever. And I watched it and I was like, this barely counts as, like, it is a vampire movie, but I would not call it a vampire movie because it is so much more than that. And I hate that people were telling me it was a vampire movie because I went into it thinking, like, horror, vampire, and I'm like, oh my god, this movie's, like, so much more than that.
Yes.
And I have to watch it again because I went in
You
with
had these
a
expectations.
mindset. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so...
I totally agree. I think there's a lot of nuance to it. I'm very glad you didn't tell me ahead of time that it was a vampire. When I saw the first vampire, I mean, I'll talk about that when we go into it, but I was, like, so surprised.
Yeah.
So...
That's awesome that you didn't know. That's
really
cool.
it was really good. So... The movie takes place in 1932, rural Mississippi, and at the very beginning, so just like background information, 1932, we still have prohibition, so still illegal to drink, and obviously being in the South and the East is not going to be positive. The Klan is in full swing. Things aren't great.
Yes.
So, at the very beginning, we hear the legend of magical storytellers throughout history who merged worlds of the living and the dead through music. And they even attracted devilish beings. So I was like, okay, this is going to play a role, but it doesn't play a role for a very long time. Our main character in the prologue, he is Sammy. He shows up at a church. He's covered in blood. He's holding a broken guitar, and his father, the pastor, draws him in and tells him to put down his sinning ways. And so for me, at this point, I'm thinking that this is going to be this, like, world where, like, playing music immediately attracts, like, evil. I'm, like, visualizing, you know, Van Helsing, basically, but with a guitar.
Right.
And then we go back to the day before. So Sammy is picking cotton to meet the family quota. They're sharecroppers on a plantation. His two cousins from Chicago come back, and they are the Smokestack twins, which I loved. One of them is Smoke, one is Stack.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So cool.
So they buy the local mill and decide they're going to turn it into a juke joint. The duo pick up Sammy and split up to get what they need: food, signage, entertainment. They want to open that night, which the movie would have gone so much differently if they had waited a week, but it's fine.
Yes.
So one of them's in a red hat and one is in a blue hat. And this is important because as I'm watching it, I'm like, dude, which one of them is Michael B. Jordan? Because they both look like him. I was like, what the hell? And I literally had to go on my phone. I was like, which one is Michael B. Jordan? And then I was like, oh my god, you dumb. It's like The Parent Trap he's playing both.
So fucking funny. Oh my god. I literally so I didn't know he was playing twins either.
Yeah.
I knew he was in the movie and Brett was like, he's playing two characters. And I'm like, really? He's playing like how's he playing two characters? And then immediately the scene where that shows both of them, I'm like, oh my god, he's playing twins. That's so cool.
Yes, yeah.
I love it.
I know, it was good.
But
it
yeah.
was well done, and I did not realize it at first.
Yeah, no, it's really, there's so much detail with these two characters, so much detail in the whole movie, but these two characters specifically, Michael really did such a good job differentiating both of them.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're both wearing like different colors, so
Yeah.
Stack is wearing all red, Smoke is wearing blue, and if you notice the style, Smoke's is like Irish mafia, and then Italian mafia for Stack, and they kind of, it's hinted they infiltrated both gangs and
Yes.
took from both.
Yeah.
And then Smoke is very much like more enclosed and quiet, and Stack is more like fun and outgoing. And even like the actors said when Michael would just jump into both, like he did so much, like he had to record so much twice.
Yeah.
And be two completely different people. Like even the makeup was subtle.
Yes.
Michael apparently has a little like dip in his brow, and it's kept for Smoke but not for Stack. And they like, it's just like little subtle things, and it's so cool. But they had to, so a lot of it was him both times, but they also had a double for certain scenes, and they CGI'd his face over.
Okay.
So to do some of that, they created this special camera rig, and it was like 10 cameras around him, and he would do his lines and it would capture his face completely, and then they were able to CGI it like better onto the double. So it's just so much work went into this, and I cannot believe he did both of those roles. Like it is so freaking impressive.
I mean, it's crazy too, because they could have just had them be fraternal twins and like hire someone else. Instead, they were like, all right, here's the role of a I mean, really, it's the role of a lifetime when you think like he's a one-man show with it.
It felt like two different people. Like that's crazy. And the director, he knows like a lot of identical twins, and he said identical twins, especially like at that time, it was very like people noticed them. They had like a notoriety. So I think that's like part of it, where the twins were like the twins, you know? And so I think that was like a really cool aspect of it. But yeah, they even had like identical twins come in and like give thoughts and like how they act, and they learn that one twin usually does more than the other. So like in certain things, so for example, Stack does a lot of talking, so Smoke doesn't talk as much. So like different things like that they notice with identical twins. That's just how they act. So really interesting stuff. But,
so wild.
Yeah.
So Sammy has a guitar that was gifted to him by the cousins before they had left for Chicago, and he's genuinely really good at it, to the amazement of Stack. And this is when I realized, okay, playing music isn't the thing that immediately brings upon chaos. Like, I thought the sky would crack open when he starts playing.
The second he strums.
Yeah, I was just like, what? What's happening? Where's the devil? And it's just like a nice moment where he's playing in the car, and Stack is like, oh my God. And,
he has, God, he has such a good voice.
He is really, really genuinely good.
Yeah.
So Stack also reveals at this point that Smoke killed their dad. So that comes through. So we know that they're like hardened. Like they're hardened criminals. They've done shit in the past. So we also meet a couple of other key players who are going to come and have a larger role later on. There's Slim, the alcoholic harmonica player, Pearline, a married singer who has eyes for Sammy, and Mary, Stack's former lover, who he left behind when he went to Chicago. Meanwhile, Smoke goes into town with a truck full of stolen drinks. He talks to a local girl, and this is probably my favorite scene because it's like this very cute scene where he teaches her to negotiate. He's like, listen, I'll give you a dime for every minute that I'm away from the truck. And she's like, oh my God, yes. And he's like, no. You always negotiate. Yeah. So you're going to say 20. And so she goes, okay, 20. And he's like, oh, I can't do 20. And so it's like this very cute interaction that I really enjoyed. Before long, a couple of local hoodlums try to steal some things from the back. It's Prohibition era. There's the only alcohol that they have is corn liquor. So it's, moonshine sort of a thing. And this idea of Irish beer and Italian wine, it's like, oh my God, so exciting.
Can you imagine like that compared to like moonshine.
No, you're like drinking what the isopropyl alcohol basically, and then something with actual flavor.
Yeah.
I can understand being tempted to take something for yourself. So Smoke comes back. He shoots one of them in the butt, and then the other one in the knee, because he can't have anyone getting away with almost having robbed him. He needs them to know, make a name for himself. So he goes back to the local grocer and he's like, listen, pay for their medical bills, get them taken care of. So he's like kind of like good cop, bad cop at the same time.
Yes,
he's just trying to protect his image, but he's actually like pure at heart.
Right. Yeah.
Mostly. So he also hires the grocer Bo and his wife Grace to help out for the night. They are Chinese American, which I actually didn't realize because the American education system sucks, but there was a Chinese American community in the South at this time.
Correct,
and they owned businesses and things like that. So for me, I was like, I was like confused and thinking maybe they were doing blind casting or whatever, but that wasn't going to make sense. And then I was like, okay, it's not just white people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's like I didn't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, they owned like a lot of grocery stores. It's very common for them to like own a lot of the businesses at that time. So.
And not only that, but like they own 2 groceries on the opposite side of the street. I was like, oh my gosh, I want a whole like spin-off of their life.
I know.
But it was like the entire way that they've like built this world, and they've gone back in time and like created these old general stores where I was just like, oh my God, like so drawn in, and I was really enjoying it. And that's where I mean, like, I didn't need the horror aspect because I was just like soaking in all the details.
Yeah, no, it's really like beautifully done. And I love, there's moments where I don't know if you noticed the aspect ratio would get wide and small. And I was like trying to catch that more like this time.
Yeah.
And it's just, you're so like owned in. It's like you don't even notice sometimes it's like blown up. And it's
I didn't notice that until the first fight scene.
Yeah.
So it took me till the very end. I thought that was the first time. I didn't realize it was happening multiple times throughout.
Yeah.
But that's cool. So Smoke goes to put flowers on his kid's grave, and then he sees his lady love. I don't know if it's his wife or whatever, but it's the love
just
of
a
his life.
partner. Yeah.
Annie. And she claims that this mojo bag she had made him provided him protection throughout his times away. They have sex.
Nice.
Yeah. Good for them.
And
you get it, girl.
Yeah. She's played by Wunmi Mosaku, who's a great actress. And she was in His House, if you remember.
Yes.
Lovecraft Country is where I first saw her, but she's also in Loki. She's the lead timekeeper.
God, I'm so bad.
Agent. But yeah, she's in that as well. So, but I love her. She's
awesome.
a good actress.
Yeah, I agree. So next we have kind of like we're switching completely. So this is where we start the horror, where this burned, begging Irishman appears at a Klansman's door. And they're suspicious of him, probably because he's Irish. And he claims...
And also he's like covered in burns and shit.
He's covered in burns. He claims that the natives are after him, that they stole his wife, and he has like 3 gold coins and he offers it for protection. Like, please just help me out. So... when the natives show up, they share that the man is dangerous and not what he seems. And, it's very professional. They're presenting themselves very kindly. And this is a racist woman who is not interested. She's going to trust a white man over him. So she shoots him off with a gun to the head, and they ride out. And pretty immediately she learns that the man who just showed up at her door was a vampire. And turns her husband and her. And I literally wrote in all caps, vampires. I was like, what? That was not what I was expecting.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. When I first saw the trailer, because it was very subtle, the trailer, I was like, zombies? Like, maybe? Because they don't show much. Like, I was like, it looks like there's some sort of creature, but vampires, I really did not think of vampires until I was told vampires. I was like, oh, that's really cool. That's cool.
Yeah, it's a cool spin. I liked it's different than what I would have expected. Especially from a Southern movie, and they're playing into the whole like mojo and demons and the devil and stuff like that, and then for it to be that.
Exactly.
So the crew gets the juke up and running. It looks good. It has a great vibe. Mary shows up and we learn some of her backstory. Her grandfather was half black. Her mother saved the lives of the Smokestack boys and treated them as her own. And although she had an affair with Stack, he married her off to a white man because he wanted to protect her. He felt like if they were together, it wouldn't be safe because obviously at that time, interracial marriages were not a thing.
Yeah.
Interracial relationships weren't a thing. All of that was very much like, I mean, we hear stories of men being killed all the time for having any sort of interaction with a white person.
And it's like kind of sad because she was raised with them. And so she's like, she even says like, I didn't want to be white, you know?
Right.
And it's like, it's sad because she is white, like she looks white.
Yeah.
So hanging around in this community, like that's dangerous for, you know, people like Stack specifically if he's with her. So it's just like a shitty, sad situation. And, you know, he did that to protect her, but she's like, I didn't want that.
Yeah. Yeah. And it would have been, I mean, it would have been dangerous for both of them. More so for him, but like even her.
Yeah.
He was like, you could have been killed. So for him, that was like not an option.
Yeah.
So also she's played by Haley Steinfeld.
Yes.
And she did a really good job. She was not like a singer in this.
Yeah.
Which is funny because there's a lot of music going on, but she did not take a lead in there.
I think she wrote a song.
Did she?
And sang a song, but like not in the movie. I think just for the soundtrack.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I didn't even know she was like a singer before
Really?
she went actress. Yeah, and then I was like, oh, I know her songs. I just like it didn't click, and it's just so weird seeing her like as a singer. And I'm like, oh, that's like funny.
I know. So Sammy, aka Preacher Boy, plays music so well that he pierces the veil between life and death. The scene merges with the past, present, and future, which was really cool. They had, you know, electronic guitar at the same time. They had like people twerking, and then they had, you know, indigenous people doing more
like traditional dances.
Yeah.
That's really cool. They even had like a Chinese like opera type of dancer in there and like a DJ.
Yes. Yeah. It was
very cool.
It was really cool. And then there's like the building in this sort of vision burns down, which ends up being a little bit of like almost a foretelling of what's going to happen. And then Sammy has sex with the married lady, Pearline. He also states his intention to run off and make a life out of music, but Smoke is so pissed off about this that he threatens to kill him because he's like, I've never met a happy musician. You could have a great life. You can go to this place and that would be a good city for you. You can go, you know, stay and be a preacher or whatever, but don't live this life. This is
right. Because he was like talking about going to like Chicago and stuff, and obviously the Smoke twins have been through it, so they were like, no, they want to protect their cousin, but also like, you know, he's growing up, and he wants to kind of do his own thing, and he's such a good musician, and you know.
Yeah, they also do state earlier because he was like, oh, I heard in Chicago there's no Jim Crow, and they were like, listen, man, it's there's no Jim Crow, but it's a different way. It's the devil you know versus the devil you don't know, and they were basically saying that like there's racism even up there, and you get treated poorly regardless. And so it's, you know, for them, he's this innocent boy who's looking at the world and seeing like, oh, I'll go there and be treated equally, and they're like, no, you won't.
Yeah.
So then the vampires arrive. So the music enticed the three vampires to show up. So they asked to be let in, but they're refused because they're white. But the vibes are off anyway. Mary and Annie don't get a good feeling about them. Smoke doesn't get a good feeling about them. Stack is kind of like iffy.
Yeah. I mean, it's the thing too, where like, even if they're fine, they come in, they're like, well, what if one of them stares at their woman too long, or like anything could happen, you know? It's hard to like trust white people at this time.
Yeah.
Any little thing, white people are going to believe the white people. So.
Right, exactly. So Smoke counts up the money and learns that they're going to go under if they keep going the way things have been, because mostly people are paying with company money. So, you know, to work on a plantation or anything like that at the time, one of the ways that they kept control of people was to pay them in their
plantation chips.
Exactly. And so that way you can't leave because you can only spend that money in that area. And so, you know, that's not going to be valuable to them. They need actual money.
Right.
And so when Mary finds out, she's like, all right, let me just go and find out how much money these 3 white people have. And so she goes outside to them, and they do this beautiful rendition of an Irish folk song, and it's like very well done, and they have this sort of connection with one another where it's almost like, you know, you get this idea that they have like a hive mind. Yeah. So she ends up getting the gold from them and then walks away, and as she's walking away, the one guy like lifts his body into the air. He like flies up, and I was like, oh god. But then, you know, we don't see anything happen, and Mary comes back, and she is in the building. She gets it on with Stack pretty immediately, and I was like, this is a little aggressive. Like, I don't think this isn't right. And then she starts.
The first hint should have been when she was asking to get invited in.
Yes, but I didn't click for me. So there's this very foul scene, which was almost my deleted scene. So she starts drooling, and we see this happen with the vampires a couple times. So I was like, yeah. She's obviously turned. And she basically was like, you want some? And then she spits in his mouth. And I know that there's like, I don't mean to like yuck anyone's yum. I know some people are into that. But dude, how foul.
It's funny because I heard things about this scene, and I was like, this scene's gonna be crazy. And Brian and I are watching it, and I was like, oh, that's it? That was gonna be a little crazier than this, but
I mean,
right.
It wasn't the craziest thing ever, but I was still just like...
And definitely, I would have been a little worried seeing how much drool is coming from her. I would have been like,
bro, that's not normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know I'm fine, but like...
I think you have something. Are you stroking out?
Yeah,
like,
what is going on here? But Stack's a freak, so
yeah, he is. Yeah. So Sammy and Smoke end up bursting into the room, and they see Mary biting Stack's neck. He ends up dying in Smoke's arms, and Mary is shot multiple times, but keeps getting back up again and runs off. Annie relatively quickly deduces that there are vampires afoot. She originally thought they were haints, which is a southern ghost, but she threw pickled garlic on one, and not on one. She threw pickled garlic on Stack because Stack got back up again, and he ran out of the building. So that's how she ended up realizing what it was. So everyone in the barn at this point has been sent home, and I was like, thank God, they're all going to be safe now. No. Everyone who left the club was turned into a vampire.
Yeah,
so it's a real bummer.
They were sent home pretty much after Stack was killed, and before Annie could deduce it was vampires. And so Bo was like, all right, party's over, like, everyone go home. Because I think if Annie knew at that point, she would have been like, no one fucking leave.
Yeah.
But,
So, they start vampire prep in the building. They think that one of them might be a vampire, so there's this scene where they all have to eat garlic. Slim has such a dramatic reaction that I was like, oh my god, is he a like as hell?
Yeah. I mean, it is eating a freaking...
Yes. I mean, I think I would do...
fine, but...
I would be fine, but Italian, so... Yeah. I'd be like, this is just...
problem.
Yeah, a regular Monday evening.
Yeah. But even like Pearline was like, I don't like the taste. And I was like, girl, you don't put that fucking thing in your mouth. I know,
literally, like, Smoke has his gun up to her head, and he's like, eat the garlic. And I was like, honestly, fair, though. And Sammy's like, stop it. I'm like, Sammy, grow up, there's vampires.
Yeah, Sammy, shut the fuck up.
What are you talking about, dude?
Right now.
Right. Everyone suck it up. This isn't like a Fear Factor. We're not coming out of this alive if you don't do it. Like,
yeah, for real.
Yeah. So the vampires share memories. We do learn this accurately. We learned that the Juke used to be a slaughterhouse for slaves, and that the clan was planning on showing up the next day to kill the Smokestack twins, regardless of what happened. So things were going to turn one way or another. Then we have my deleted scene. Grace, her husband's outside of the barn. He got turned, and because they have a hive mind, they know about her daughter, and they're threatening to go get her daughter. And so she's like, all right, let's go. Come on in. And so she invites them in. And I was like, you absolute fool. I'm sorry, but what do you think is going to happen? If you get turned, then you're going to also want to turn your daughter. And at this point, you could strategically attack because you're safe. You have a safe space.
Yeah. Yeah, that whole scene, like, Like, I understand she was panicking. She's like, they're gonna kill everyone. They could have, true.
Yeah.
But as of right now, they were surrounding the building. And I think they could have spent a little bit more time trying to figure out something. And if they noticed the vampires were leaving, they'd have to try and make a decision. But yeah, I would have been fucking pissed. Because they were like, they were making steaks and shit.
Yeah.
But they weren't fully prepared for, like, it's a swarm. It's a whole bunch of fucking vampires.
There's so many
everyone that
of
was
them.
in the bar, except for like 5 people now. So
right, exactly. So that's when I first noticed the frame widen when the fight begins.
Yeah.
And pretty quickly things go haywire.
Go bad.
Grace kills her husband and they both burn together. Annie gets bit and Smoke has to kill her because otherwise her soul will be trapped in her body. Salim makes himself bait for them so that everyone else can get away. Pearline and everyone except Sammy and Smoke die, basically, or get turned.
Yeah.
Sammy is making a run for it and ends up in a one-on-one confrontation with the lead vampire, but Smoke gets there in time to save him. Smoke himself was saved multiple times by the mojo bag. And then the sun comes up, the vampires all burn. Dramatic. Sammy returns to the church with his father's guitar. And then we see back at the barn where Smoke is, the clan shows up. And this is my memorable scene. So Smoke puts up a final stand to take them down. He ends up taking off his mojo bag, which I think is symbolizing his desire to return to Annie and their daughter. And he basically kills all the clan members. And then he's sitting there and he looks over and he sees Annie and their daughter and he holds his daughter. And I think it's just kind of like symbolizing his transition into the next life.
Yeah. What I love about that scene too is that she calls him Elijah, which is his true name. And she has a cigarette and she's like, I don't want that smoke near our daughter. And it's like kind of a way of her saying, like, leave that persona behind. You're Elijah now. And it's like,
oh, I like that.
Good Lord.
Oh, that's really good. I didn't even make that connection.
Yeah.
So we then jump forward to 1992. And we see that there's a man in Chicago, an older man playing guitar. And you know it's Sammy because he has scars on his face from when he was attacked by the head vampire. And he's playing with a band named Pearline. And at the end of the night, and by the way, the credits are coming up while this is going. So I'm like paying less attention to it. I was just like, wrapping up, whatever. But it's not over. And so then he's having a drink at the bar at the end of the night, and he's told that there's 2 people outside who are going to pay a couple $100s to get their final chance to like talk to him. And he's like, yeah, sure, whatever. So in walk Barry and Stack. So they're dressed in 90s attire. And he was like, how are you here? And they basically said that Smoke couldn't kill Stack, and his only request was that he leave Sammy alone. He was like, just leave him alone, let him live his full life. And so they did. And so they sit down together. They just have like a conversation. Sammy plays for them one final time on the old guitar, which I guess he had gotten repaired.
Right, yeah.
And he plays for them, and then they get up and they leave. And that's the end.
Yeah. And that end too just like gets me a little emotional because Sammy asked, like, you know, about that night. Like, we were free, you know, like, even though it was like it ended so horribly, like that was such a good night for everyone. And Stack was like, you know, it was the last time I saw my brother. And I'm like,
yeah, they were all saying that was kind of like before everything went down with the vampires, it was the best day of their life. And I was just like, this is God, Demi, this movie just was like,
it was a lot.
It was a lot. It's hard. This is, for me personally, like, I tend to avoid heavier movies like this because they're just too real. It's too painful, and it's like, oh my God, this is devastating that, like, anyone ever had to go through any of this in general, because there's so much realism in it, where if you even take the vampires away, that's why I think it would have been a great movie even without the vampires, because
I mean, too, like, you think about the vampires in the show, the clan would have. So, like, you know, there would have been death anyway. So it's like, really, it's fucking sad. It's fucked up.
Yeah, regardless of what was going to happen, there was going to be some sort of like sadness. I think what is really horrible is you're catching this moment, this glimpse for them of like a positive future and like the ability to turn things around and seeing this excitement and what could be. And it's like, not only are they up against the horrors of American life in the 1930s, but now they all get killed off by vampires.
Yep.
I was like, come on. Like, it's bad enough.
Yeah.
It's bad enough.
You can't catch a fucking break,
No.
you know? It's so fucking messed up.
Yeah, it's like, life is horrible. They are sharecroppers, which is basically next to slavery. They are doing everything they can to get out. There's like, they're being reduced to crime and things like that because they don't have any honest ways of making it in this world because everyone's racist. And
and even like Slim's story, like talking about his friend who got lynched. You know, they got money fairly by playing, and Clan saw the money, and Clan, he stole it off someone, and he freaking lynched him. And I was like, dude, like, and that's like real stuff, you know?
Yes.
Like, that's just like so fucking sad.
Right.
So.
Like, it's like, even if this is a fictional story, things like that happened. Like, you know, we learned that story in school about that boy who was lynched and killed for whistling, supposedly at a white woman. And it's like,
yeah, and I do love movies like horror movies like this, where it's like very real historical situation, and then they throw in like an extra horror bit to it, but it's like still horror like on its own. And I just I love movies like horror movies like that. I just think they're
I think it was really well done. I think the fact that it was so well done is like, it made me enjoy it a lot more. Main character smash.
No transition.
No.
Smash. Obviously.
Duh. Come on. I mean,
which twin you prefer?
Probably Stack.
Okay.
What about you?
I feel like I think Smoke's a good man. I like his seriousness, but like something about Stack. You know,
he's charming.
Yes.
That
got that little girl too.
God, I know. He's just like a little sleazy, but like in the lovable way, where you're just like, you can get away with it.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah. I've always, I don't know, there's something about him, you know? I said villain, so, I mean, this is kind of challenging, because technically the villain, I guess, would be the Irishman, but in my mind, it's also Stack, so I said Smash.
I mean...
But even the Irishman, I was like, you know, he played good music, he's a good singer.
He was doing the Irish jig outside,
yeah,
they had a little circle. I was like, okay. Dude, that scene had me cracking up. It was
dude.
It was just so funny. It was just like everyone dancing around. And
goofy, and they're all like covered in blood, but they're just like singing this really great song. And I was just like, damn, I want to go back to Ireland. Like, I want to go do some Irish jigs and stuff. Come on.
So I'd
Yeah, Smash for sure. So this is one of the few. I don't have very many. I think I only have one other horror movie with a Smash. Which one is this?
I think The Lighthouse, because you said Robert Pattinson was technically the villain of that movie.
Oh, okay. I have Pandorum. I said Smash. And then and then I think The Lighthouse I might have said Other, because there was the two of them.
Okay.
Yeah, I said Other because they both of them, I said Robert Pattinson I would, and I would not for our friend Willem Dafoe. Sorry, Willem.
Sorry, Willem.
Survival chance. You know, I know. It's like one of the few clear smashes. But you know what? There's something about vampires. Let me tell you, Twilight did me dirty. My survival chance, it's not good, but it's not nothing, because I said it was 2, because if I had, like, it's like, who am I in the situation? If I have someone to protect me, like, I'm not coming out alive on my own. But if I was Sammy and someone protected, maybe I shouldn't say 2. I should say 1. You know what? I'm going back to 1, because I'm literally fully dependent on if someone else saves me.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I would not survive this. There's no way. I'm not strong. Like, putting the stakes through someone's body, I feel like that's...
You have to be so strong.
And I am not strong enough for that.
No.
So,
no. I already just know based on fear alone.
You know what I would have done? I would have made like a garlic necklace. I would have greased my body in garlic and been like, what? What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? And try and get away that way, because I will gladly bathe myself in garlic.
Yeah. That's fine. I can be a stinky lady.
They should have thought of that. I wonder how much garlic they had.
I don't think a lot, because she used up all the pickled garlic, and then there was like a jar of regular garlic, so probably not enough. But like, I don't know. Yeah. It wouldn't have been good for me.
Yeah, it's not good.
Would I recommend? Yes, I would recommend. And and of course, to a non-horror. I don't think that there's enough of a horror. Like, I just feel like it is something that is possible for someone not a horror fan to enjoy.
Yeah, it does like get bloody, but honestly, I'm like, it's a good movie. I feel like even if people don't like horror, they'll still appreciate it.
I agree.
As a good movie, then not so.
I agree. So the rating was kind of hard for me, because I usually don't like to rate high movies that leave me feeling really sad and like bummed out, and this one left me really, really bummed.
Yeah.
But it was really well done. I gave it 5 stars. 5 hearts. 5 hearts. Yeah, I am not very frequent that I give a 5 heart rating, especially for a vampire, not a vampire, a horror. But
I also would give it 5. Pretty obvious, but it's just a good movie. I was very surprised by this movie. I knew it was gonna be good. Like, seeing the trailer, I'm like, it's got Michael B. Jordan. Yeah, got the director. Like, he's done good movies. Like, looks cool. You know, it looks unique. And I was like really blown away by it. And there's just so much detail. Like, I'm not gonna go into all of it, but like, there's so much detail on like how they made it, and like even just the type of film they used. And so if you're interested in all that, like, this movie has a lot of really interesting content and how they decided to film this movie a specific way. So lots of details went into this movie. The director's I'm
not surprised.
Yeah. I think this is his first, like, so he did Black Panther, if you didn't know. He wrote and directed Black Panther. Creed, if you watched Creed.
Yes, I did.
So he did that one as well.
I've seen all of his films.
Yeah. So like this one, it was really like special and unique to him. Yeah. And he said he's not a fan of horror. So he like wasn't sure about doing it, but he said that because he hasn't done horror, he was like, I'll try it and see if I like it. And he enjoyed it. And he was supposed to do Blade. And so I think that's part of why this influenced him with vampires, because he was supposed to do Blade. And I'm like, oh, what we could have had. And
I never saw Blade.
You never saw Blade? Okay. Oh God, I loved Blade as a kid. It's probably like ass now, but
yeah.
It's a vampire Marvel movie. But basically, Brett told me that I don't know where this fact is from, but some of the costuming from this movie came from Blade, because they actually had a lot done for Blade. And then they had to cut stuff, and I was like, oh my God, was Blade supposed to be like more of like this type of time period like movie?
Yeah.
Oh, what we could have had. Anyway, I don't know how true that is, but I think the vampire stuff influenced him with this movie. So, one thing with Remick, the lead vampire, he's Irish, obviously.
Yeah.
And one thing with him is, I didn't put 2 and 2 together, but when he first shows up, he like jumps into the frame. Like, he's like coming down in the frame. And I was like, where is he coming from? And he's flying and flew down. And I was like, oh, I didn't even like put 2 and 2 together. So that's like a cool little, like the way he first comes in, he was flying away from the Choctaw Indian hunters.
That's why when I saw 2, because I was like, why is he like burned? What happened to him? And at first I was like, maybe he was being chased by somebody. And because I'm not thinking vampire in any way, shape, or form. Yeah. And then it's like, oh, well, the sun was out and he was blistering.
Yeah, he was getting burned by that. So he, based on like some hints and stuff on like things he said at the end when Sammy's praying, he says something about how he respects religion and God and Jesus, but he learned to hate Christians because of what they did to his land, and they took his land. So that comes back to like, you know, in Ireland between the 5th and 7th century, so he'd be at least 1,300 years old. So that kind of shows more of like why he wanted to see his like, you know, family and people he loved so bad through Sammy, because Sammy was able to go, you know, break the veil. So that's why Remick was so like, I need Sammy. I want to see my people. So like knowing how old he is like pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, so then in the beginning of the movie, they bring up like 3 different type of regions that have 3 different ideas of this type of performer. So they bring up the Choctaw Native Americans, which are in the movie, the Irish, which is in the movie, and then West Africa, which is hinted that that's background for a lot of the people in this movie. So that was pretty cool. And Miles Caton plays Sammy, Preacher Boy. And this is his first role. He's done some singing, but he's never acted before. And he was told to audition for this movie. And this role obviously was very important. Like the director was like, we're looking for Sammy really before script was fully finished because he's like the main part of this movie. And so Miles sent in this audition tape and he's like in his basement. It's like kind of dark and he's just playing. And the director was like, it's like a weird audition tape he sent. But I was just like, I was hooked on his voice. And it's true. Like I'm obsessed with his voice. It is so beautiful.
It really is.
They really, and knowing that this is his first acting role is crazy. Like I thought he was fantastic.
Yes, he did a great job. He has his voice is a very unique sound. Like it's very, very deep and resonant, but it's like there's something to it where you're like, I haven't heard a lot of people who sound quite like that. And it does play very well into that time.
Thanks, Amira.
It also plays really well into the time period of like alongside the banjo and like the older guitars and things like that. His voice really shines. Yeah,
it feels like when you think of blues, like it's that voice, and it's just so cool. I loved it.
Yeah.
And, so the guitar, it came from the twins' father, but Stack said that it came from Charlie Patton, who is a legendary singer, blues singer. And so Patton was often said to be of Irish, Choctaw, and African American descent.
No way!
So it's not like fully proven, like it's not fully known, but it's generally agreed upon that he had like Black, white, and Native heritage.
That
is
is
really
so wild.
It's like, it's really cool that they
connected that.
Haley Steinfeld, her role, the percentage Black she is in the movie is the same as she is in real life.
I didn't realize. I was wondering if she had. I was like, okay, they're not going to just right.
Like, like, come on. Yeah, no, it's her. I believe her grandfather is half Black.
Okay.
And so she got this role, and it's really made her like kind of look more into her family and stuff. And I know people were saying they didn't really like her in this role. They said she was like too white, but it's also like, but she's the amount of white that the character is. So it's like that's appropriate.
Yeah.
And so there were like weird things, but other people said that like she was perfect, she was great. I thought she was great. I think she had to look white, you know, like everyone's.
I mean, that's the thing. It's like at that point in time.
Yeah.
For what they're getting across and the dangers with it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of important.
Yeah. The man at the end who plays older Sammy is named Buddy Guy. He's a blues player, legendary blues player.
I've heard of him before. His name is very memorable, Buddy Guy. I remember the first time I ever heard it, I was like, what a great name.
It's a great name, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the coolest fact I have.
Okay.
So in the movie, the vampires have that glowing eye thing that animals have. So some of it was CGI, but some of it was practical. And the way they accomplished this is that there was someone who was actually working on a type of contact lens that is reflective.
No.
And it's like hand painted. So they can't see through the contacts, but the moments where they're like standing, they're talking, and their eyes
and their eyes have that like flat sort of shimmer appearance.
Yeah, it was like contact lenses. Knowing that was like practical is so
that's so cool. I did notice that, but I was like, and it looked like it was a contact or something because it looked like it was part of their eye. It didn't look digital.
Yeah,
that's really neat.
Yeah, so very cool. I love that little detail that the vampires having that. I think that's so cool. Yeah. And I just like, there's so much vampire lore that I didn't know about that was in this movie. So I knew about not letting, invitation only for vampires, flight, garlic, but they also had silver, which I didn't know silver was a weakness for vampires.
I did, because I'm better than you. So.
Yeah. Well, you were Team Edward, so of course you have this knowledge.
Well, it wasn't. They didn't do that in the Twilight books, but it is like kind of in the same way of werewolves, where silver is for some reason a weakness. I forget why.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when Sammy hit Remick with the guitar and the silver piece was in his head, that's why it hurt him a lot more. And so all the other vampires, I forget what they're called, the lesser ones. Whatever.
Vampires?
Yeah. Thralls.
Okay.
They were much more in pain, and that's why Smoke was able to get to him easier.
Okay.
Because I was like, why was like that hurting him a lot?
Yeah.
Silver. And and then the hive mind thing, and also the one last fact with vampires is that when you have a stronger mentality or you're more intelligent, you're more likely to kind of have your own thoughts separate from the main vampire. So that's why Mary and
Stack were able to get away.
Were kind of like their own things rather than all the other vampires were like fully merged with Remick.
Interesting.
So that's a little
cool
addition.
Yeah, I didn't know that part. So
so cool little facts. I like that, there was so much vampire lore and like some of it I did not know about, and it's just so cool. I love the invitation thing. I think it's so goofy.
Dude, it's my
favorite. It's my favorite.
I loved it. And like the whole thing with the one character, Cornbread, and they're like, you've been in and out all day. What are you talking about? And he's just like, come on, man. I'm just trying to be polite. It's like, this is amazing. I was like, it's so good. And it was a great way for them to weed them out. And it was very subtle when Mary came back and she got invited in, because to me I was like, oh, maybe she left from the back way before and she's like trying to get in, and she's like, what are you, he's like standing in front of the door, she's like, what are you gonna let me in? He's like, oh yeah, of course, like I'm in. And I was like, oh, she played it so well that it didn't even register for me.
Right.
So
no, it's good. It's really good. I love that.
Yeah,
that's what I have for this movie. Like I said, there's a lot more if anyone wants to look more into it regarding anything. Lots of cool stuff with this movie, so
that's great.
Props.
It's a good one.
Props to everyone that worked on it. Incredible. So, I'm happy you liked it. I knew you would. I wasn't sure how much because it does get a little bloody at the end, but
I mean, the blood wasn't what bothered me. It was the bummer story. It was really rough. I don't love when it's so horrible, but I mean, at least Sammy got kind of a happy ending. He got to follow his bliss and whatever.
He got to do that, and like Stack and Mary now together, even though in this circumstance, it's forever vampires, which is kind of cool. But I feel like losing a twin has to be really
painful.
Even losing a sibling is bad, but like a twin, that's
there is. I think it might have been Smoke said to Stack, there's no me without you. So that's really hard. You're like losing part of yourself. So
they really were just like the same, not the same person, but they just worked off each other really well. So.
I loved their. Oh my God, Michael B. Jordan, you sneaky guy.
I know.
So good. Yeah,
he's amazing. If he doesn't get an award for this role, like.
If this movie doesn't win awards, then there's. I mean, we already know it's all rigged.
Everything's rigged anyway.
Like, it's rigged.
Yeah.
But it's like extra rigged.
Yes.
That would be ridiculous. If they didn't.
For real.
So, so I had to give it 5 hearts. I had to. I had no choice.
I had
no choice. So, the movie I picked out for you is called A Nice Indian Boy, and this one is probably my favorite movie of 2025.
Yay.
So, especially romance. I mean, Sinners was really, really good, but this one, it's a whole different vibe, totally different. I watched it with my sisters and my cousins, and I was just heart eyes the whole time. So I really love it. The movie is A Nice Indian Boy, and it's about this man named Naveen, and he is Indian. He was raised Indian, and he is gay, and he kind of has like a challenging relationship with his parents, and that he's never brought anyone home. And finally he meets this guy, Jay, and Jay is Indian, and he brings him home, but he never tells his family that he's white and he was adopted into an Indian family. So
Oh my God.
it's really good. I'm not gonna say anything else. Jonathan Groff is the guy Jay.
I love Jonathan Groff.
Yes, you're gonna adore him in this role, and it's so good.
I'm excited. Yeah.
I really, really loved it, and I think you're gonna love it too.
Oh man, are we gonna have potentially 2 5-star?
I think if you don't 5-star it, I'm gonna side eye you so hard. But it'll be
I'm
fun.
already in my mind. I'm like, it's a 5, obviously.
Yeah, it's really good, and one of the things that I really, really love about it is it feels like it's moving in the direction of movies with gay leads that is not entirely story dependent on their coming out, which I'm like very excited for, because there's so many complexities to relationships, and I want to see more of those like fun rom-coms that are about more than that.
Right.
So
thank you for listening to How Do You Watch This. You can find us on Instagram at How Do You Watch This, or TikTok at How Do You Watch, or you can email us at howdoyouwatchthis@gmail.com. If you like the show, please leave us a review or recommend to a friend.
Thanks.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.